All right, you guys, we're going to start phase changes lesson 3.2, focusing on molecular attraction. So we're going to jump right on into the warm up. So in the warm up, you guys are going to be looking at and observing two different types of liquids. One being water, and you're going to compare it to isopropanol. And you're going to take a note as to whether either liquid evaporates. You're going to keep an eye on them and see if they evaporate. Given that the energy transferred in from the air will be the same for both liquids, you're going to make a prediction first whether both drops or only one drop will evaporate within 5 minutes of time. So do you think the liquid water or the isopropanol or both will evaporate within 5 minutes of time? Pause the video here so you can make your prediction in your warm-up. So we're going to move on to part two. And part two is activity 2, investigating molecular attraction. So in this, we're going to be looking at the investigation question. Why does an energy transfer not always result in a phase change? So from our SIM investigation, we actually learned that a substance needs a certain amount of energy transferred in or out before the phase change can actually occur. So today you're going to observe two liquids and note whether the same energy transfer will cause them to evaporate. The two liquids will start at the same temperature. It'll be room temperature or the same as the environment, meaning the room that we're in. This means the same amount of energy from the air will be transferred into each of the liquids. Now remember, when you guys are doing activities like this, you need to make sure you're following the safety guidelines. So don't taste things, follow directions, smell substances like a chemist, and waft the air towards your face, protect your eyes, and protect your hands. Keep your hands away from your face and tell your teacher if you have any allergies to these things. Be careful and calm. Report all spills, accidents, and injuries to your teacher and avoid anything that could cause a burn. And if you're using things that are chemicals, make sure that you wash your hands after each lab. So I'm going to repeat for this lesson today. Do not taste things, okay? Whether they are substances you normally eat or drink or anything like that. When they're used in a lab, that means they're stored with other chemicals and that makes them unsafe. We're also going to follow directions in this lab and be calm and careful with your activity, as you don't want to spill any of these chemicals or things that you are using while you're doing the lab. Okay, so to investigate molecular attractant, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a paper towel, so just one of our regular paper towels, and on the left side, you're going to write water. On the right side, you're going to write isopropanol, just like you see on this paper towel up here. You're going to place the liquid drops onto the paper towel. Now make sure you're following the directions here because you need to place 2 drops of each, only 2, because you need to control and make sure that they stay the same amount so you can see what's happening in your time. So you're going to place 2 drops of liquid water below the water label on the paper towel as shown here. Place 2 drops of isopropanol between the isopropanol. Now you're going to need to draw a circle around each one of these so you know how big that drop actually started to see if it's evaporated by the time the 5 minutes is over. So you're going to observe and record. While observing, discuss the predictions you have. And after 5 minutes, you're going to record the observations by answering the questions. Now, all of your lab materials are going to be on the counter over by the sink, so make sure you guys go over there to get the materials you need, and always make sure that when you're doing labs, you only get the materials when you need them and you return them. Please make sure you also put caps on while you're not using them so that if they were to get knocked over, they wouldn't spill. So you're going to want to pause here so you can go ahead and do your activity, and you also want to make sure that you complete the questions on part 2 of your lesson asking about water and isopropanol and your predictions before you finish this part of the lab. So pause here and do your lab. So now, what did you observe? Now that you've done the lab, what did you observe? Did your observations match the prediction? Did the isopropanol evaporate? Did the water evaporate? Which one evaporated faster? You can discuss those questions with your group. You can pause here to go ahead and discuss those questions and make sure that you have answered the questions on part 2 of the lesson. So for our lesson today, we're actually going to skip over activity 3 and we're going to move straight into activity 4. The only thing I want to make sure I point out to you in this part of the lesson is molecular attraction. So we want to just discuss this word and a couple of key concepts before we move on. So molecular attraction is that pull between 2 molecules that is the same for any substance. Every substance has a molecular attraction, some of it's stronger, some of it's weaker. So for example, substance A has molecular attraction attractions that pull the molecules together, and so does B. So there is still a pull of attraction. It may be weaker, it may be stronger, but there is always an attraction between the two substances. It's just going to depend on how strong of an attraction or how different their charges are that will make them have a stronger attraction. So at this point, you should know two key concepts. Here's one. Whether or not phase change occurs is determined by the interaction between the kinetic energy and of the molecules. Remember, that's the energy of motion, and the attraction pulling the molecules together. So the faster they move, the less attraction they're probably going to have because they move so fast that they overcome that attraction. Okay? And it's the other way with a slower moving object that they probably have a greater attraction because they are moving slower and not pulling apart as far. So the next key concept is the molecular attraction of a substance never changes. So it doesn't actually change as you change the phase. Okay, so that molecular attraction does not change. It just adjusts a little bit based on how fast the particles are moving. So it never really changes. We're going to go on to activity 4. Exploring the attraction in the sim. So for the rest of chapter 3, we're going to continue to investigate attraction and the effects it has on phase change. We're going to be thinking about stability and change. Hey, there's one of our cross-cutting concepts. You can always point that out in today's lesson at the end of the day, such as when a substance's phase remains stable and when it changes. Some of you guys have actually mentioned that during class when we've done cross-cutting concepts, so nice job, you guys. So now we're going to begin investigating this question. How does molecular attraction affect whether or not a phase change will occur? Well, now we know that the attraction of the substances never change, but it can be different for different substances. This difference allowed the isopropanol to evaporate in that 5 minutes, but the water did not. So phase change doesn't happen every time kinetic energy of a substance changes. This is because the phase change is determined by the kinetic energy, the energy of motion, and the molecular attraction. So it's because of both of those. So next you'll use what we learned about attraction to make and test predictions about what will happen in the sim. So the sim is going to help you to gather more information about how attraction affects your phase changes. So you're going to use the phase change sim to help you investigate. You're going to select substance A and turn off gravity. And then you're going to start the sim. So hit play at the top, and if we drag a molecule away, it gets pulled back to join up with the group. We know it's not gravity that's pulling the molecule back because we turned the gravity off when we started. This behavior is evidence that the molecules are actually attracted to each other because it's not gravity pulling them back. The sim will help you investigate more evidence about what or how attraction affects a phase change. So you and your partner are going to compare different substances and discuss the results. You should leave gravity turned on as this makes it easier to distinguish between a solid or liquid or a gas for this part. So before each test, you'll make a prediction about the substance. So if you look on your lesson, part 4, you'll see this box right here where you make a prediction about B and C. If they're both in the gas phase and are the same energy level, which of the two substances will need to have more energy transferred out in order to change it to a liquid, substance B or substance C. Remember, in your sim, you can click the B and C here, okay? So for test 1, you'll prepare each substance by transferring energy in to reach the highest possible amount of kinetic energy. And remember, kinetic energy is measured by temperature. Then you'll be slowly transferring out the energy. So for test 2, you'll prepare each substance by transferring energy out to reach the lowest amount of kinetic energy or the lowest temperature. Then you'll be ready to slowly transfer energy in. So if you'll hop into your lesson part 4, it'll explain the rest of the lesson for you. And there is a card too. So when you are done with that, please pause the video now, but when you're done with that, come back in here so that you can find out what to do in the last part. So you'll be answering the wrap-up questions about your sim on card 2 of part 4. So when you're done with that, make sure you check your key concepts and hop back over to the Canvas page so that you can see what else we need to cover for today and take your mastery check. And before we end the video, let's just take a moment to review how we might use the modeling tool to represent the transfer of kinetic energy for the water and the isopropanol activity. We'll look at each feature in detail. So if we look on here, you can see that the next 4 slides we're going to look at are going to review part of this. So these solid arrows show the actual amount of energy transferred into both substances. So that'll give us an actual amount of energy. And notice that the 2 arrows are the same height here that were transferred in. So that means the same amount of energy was transferred into both. These dotted arrows represent a new feature that you'll use in future modeling tool activities. They represent the amount of energy needed for the phase change, so how much you actually need. If the actual change in energy was greater than or equal to the need for the phase change to occur, then we know that the phase change has happened. If they get more energy than they need, we know that energy will happen. So the arrow labeled A is at the actual energy change, whereas Z is not. So this one would not have a phase change happening because it doesn't have more than the energy needed to take it to the next phase. So if the actual change in energy was less than the energy needed for the phase change to occur, then the phase change did not happen. So we can see this in our water example. We actually do have more energy transferred in than what was needed, so we would have a phase change here. As for the should do's in this lesson, part 3, the reread is a should do. So if you do have time to do that, then you can do that today as well.